Caitlin Clark snags another honor. She's made the Forbes 30.
Caitlin Clark continues to shine as she adds another impressive accolade to her growing list of achievements, landing a spot on this Forbes 30 Under 30 list. At just 22 years old, Clark stands out as the only professional women's basketball player to receive this recognition, a testament to the year she's had and the undeniable impact she's made on women's sports. However, not everyone seems eager to celebrate alongside her. Enter Angel Reese, a player whose competitive spirit and charisma make her as much a headline magnet as Clark herself, albeit for very different reasons. Reese's reaction to Clark's rising stardom has been the talk of the sports world, and it's easy to see why. Reese is not one to take any news sitting down, let alone an announcement that seems to solidify Clark as the face of women's basketball. The LSU superstar, known for her unfiltered personality and iconic trash talk, has thrown subtle and not-so-subtle shade at Clark throughout their rivalry. For Reese, watching Clark dominate both on and off the court is undoubtedly a tough pill to swallow, especially when Reese's own impressive achievements don't always garner the same attention. But as much as this rivalry stirs debate, one thing is certain: it's injecting a new level of excitement and energy into women's sports. Clark's year was nothing short of historic. Leading Iowa to the national championship game, she became the face of college basketball, shattering records and drawing unparalleled viewership numbers. The championship matchup between Iowa and South Carolina alone brought in a staggering 18.9 million viewers numbers that outpaced the World Series and the NBA Finals. Clark's impact isn't limited to the court either. With a massive Nike deal and media appearances on nearly every outlet imaginable, she's redefined what it means to be a women's basketball star. But while Clark's accomplishments are undeniable, Reese's frustrations are understandable. She, too, has had a monumental year. Reese led LSU to a national championship with a performance that cemented her place as one of the game's brightest stars. Her "you can't see me" gesture aimed at Clark became an instant viral moment and a defining image of the season. Reese's confidence and swagger have made her a polarizing figure, but they've also turned her into an icon. She thrives in the spotlight, embracing the role of the villain with pride. Yet, despite her success, Reese often finds herself overshadowed by Clark, a reality that fuels her competitive fire. The tension between Clark and Reese has been simmering for quite some time. Their rivalry, which began long before their college days, reached a boiling point during the national championship game. Reese's taunting of Clark, pointing to her ring finger and delivering the now famous hand gesture, sparked heated debates about sportsmanship, gender norms, and double standards. Critics labeled Reese's actions unsportsmanlike, while supporters praised her for bringing a level of passion and personality to the game that's often celebrated in men's sports. Reese herself addressed the controversy, pointing out the hypocrisy of criticizing her behavior while applauding similar antics from male athletes. For her, the backlash only underscored the challenges women face in sports, particularly women of color. The media frenzy surrounding the championship game elevated both Clark and Reese to new levels of fame, but it also exposed the disparities in how the two players are perceived. Clark, with her record-breaking performances and humble demeanor, has become a darling of the media, celebrated for her achievements and her role in growing women's basketball. Reese, on the other hand, is often painted as the antagonist, a player who stirs the pot and courts controversy. It's a dynamic that hasn't gone unnoticed by Reese, who has been vocal about the lack of recognition she feels she receives compared to Clark. This disparity extends beyond the court. While Clark has secured lucrative endorsements and prestigious awards, Reese has had to fight for the same level of respect. The WNBA, which has long struggled with viewership and media coverage, is finally experiencing a surge in popularity, thanks in part to players like Clark and Reese. But even as the league grows, Reese feels that her contributions are often overlooked. She's made it clear that she won't stay silent about the inequities she perceives, using her platform to speak out and demand recognition. Reese's social media presence is a key part of her brand. She knows how to leverage her platform to stay in the conversation, whether it's through subtle jabs, unapologetic confidence, or moments of vulnerability. Her posts are calculated, designed to keep fans and critics alike talking. When news broke that Clark had been named Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year, Reese's reaction was palpable. While she didn't explicitly call out Clark, her social media activity spoke volumes. For Reese, this isn't just about Clark. It's about a larger conversation surrounding representation, media bias, and the fight for equality in women's sports. Despite the drama, Reese and Clark share a mutual respect for each other's game. Both players understand the significance of their rivalry and the attention it's brought to women's basketball. Reese has acknowledged Clark's talent, and Clark, in turn, has praised Reese for her competitiveness and energy. At the end of the day, they're two of the best players in the game, pushing each other to be better and bringing out the best in their teams. Their rivalry is rooted in mutual respect, even if it doesn't always appear that way on the surface. As the two transition to the WNBA, their rivalry shows no signs of slowing down. Clark, now with the Indiana Fever, has continued to break records and make headlines, becoming the fastest player in league history to reach 300 points, 100 rebounds, and 100 assists. Meanwhile, Reese has been equally impressive, earning Rookie of the Month honors and setting records of her own. She's a double-double machine, consistently putting up numbers that remind everyone why she was such a force in college. The Reese-Clark rivalry is exactly what women's sports needed. It's a storyline that captures the attention of casual fans and die-hard supporters alike, drawing new audiences to the WNBA and sparking conversations about the future of the league. For years, women's basketball has struggled to gain mainstream recognition, but players like Clark and Reese are changing that narrative. They're not just athletes, they're cultural icons, using their platforms to inspire the next generation of players and fans. Of course, with increased visibility comes increased scrutiny. Both Clark and Reese have faced their fair share of criticism, whether it's about their playing styles, their personalities, or the way they handle the spotlight. For Clark, the pressure to live up to her Golden Girl image can be overwhelming. For Reese, the challenge lies in breaking free from the villain label and proving that she's more than just a trash-talking competitor. But if there's one thing both players have in common, it's their resilience. They've faced adversity, criticism, and intense media scrutiny, yet they continue to rise to the occasion, delivering performances that leave fans in awe. At the heart of the Reese-Clark rivalry is a shared desire to grow the game. Both players understand the significance of what they're doing not just for themselves, but for women's sports as a whole. Clark's record-breaking performances and Reese's unapologetic confidence have brought a new level of excitement to the game, proving that women's basketball is just as thrilling, competitive, and deserving of attention as its male counterpart. Together, they're paving the way for future generations of players, showing young girls everywhere that they too can dream big and achieve greatness. So, who truly deserves to be named Athlete of the Year? Is it Clark, who dominated the season and broke barriers for women's basketball? Or is it Reese, whose larger-than-life personality and championship performance made her a cultural phenomenon? The answer depends on who you ask. But one thing is clear. Both players have earned their place in the spotlight. Clark may have the official title, but Reese isn't going to let that stop her. She's made it clear that she's coming for the crown, and she won't stop until she gets the recognition she feels she deserves. As the WNBA season unfolds, all eyes will be on Clark and Reese. Their rivalry has become one of the most compelling storylines in sports, and it's only just beginning. Whether they're going head-to-head on the court or trading jabs off it, their competitive fire and mutual drive to be the best make them two of the most exciting players to watch. Fans are invested, the media is watching, and the future of women's basketball has never looked brighter. In the end, the Reese-Clark rivalry is about more than just two players. It's about the growth of the game, the fight for recognition, and the power of competition to bring out the best in athletes. Clark and Reese are trailblazers, pushing the boundaries of what's possible and proving that women's sports deserve to be celebrated on the same level as men's. Their rivalry may be spicy, but it's also a reminder of why we love sports in the first place: the passion, the drama, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. And as Clark and Reese continue to make waves, one thing's for sure: the best is yet to come.